Hello and welcome to the trade setup. In this video we are looking at McEwen. It is time for another update. Additionally, an update was requested, so I wanted to let you know that anyone can make these requests and I will most likely cover them, especially if there is an actionable trade setup to follow. Now, in the case of this chart, we are still tracking the same structures from the previous videos, especially on the larger time frame, where we have either the possibility of developing something like a larger ABC pattern that could or even probably would take us to new all-time lows, and then to the upside we could be tracking a potential larger leading diagonal that could be forming, where we have a wave 1 complete and we have ideally also a wave 2 complete in that case, and we would be looking to form a large wave 3 to the upside. Now, in this idea we are still tracking also the resistance zone for an extension for this large wave 3 in blue that starts from the $10.9 level all the way up to the $45.9 level at the 78.6% retracement. And yeah, as long as we stay below that level, there is still quite a high risk that we will still push lower within this larger wave C to the downside in blue. Now, internally within the structure that we are tracking here, we have either a wave B that could develop in the blue interpretation, in which we expect possibly something like an ABC pattern to the upside, and then we had the yellow interpretation where we had a 1-2 set up in this area and possibly another 1-2 set up here, and then we were looking for a third wave to the upside to build a larger wave 3, follow up in a fourth and then a fifth to build a larger initial wave A to the upside. Now, unfortunately, since the previous video we have pushed further up, but in a diagonal pattern we have failed to continue to evolve this structure within an impulse, and yet what we have been tracking in this area previously doesn't really apply anymore, where internally we were considering possibly a series of 1-2 setups in this area, a third wave possibly up here. We were looking for a larger correction in wave 4 to match up the correction in wave 2, and then get a series of 4 or 5 patterns to build this larger structure within the wave 3. It could have also still been within the wave B in blue, but since we were tracking an impulse within the yellow interpretation, that cannot really be the case anymore, so we have to invalidate, or not us, the structure had invalidated what we were tracking here in the yellow interpretation, and yeah, we will remove this for now. We don't really need that structure, that internal structure anymore. And in this idea, to the upside, we can still track a larger wave 3, but now it would be within a diagonal pattern where I would have to consider this as the wave 1 top, this as the wave 2 bottom, and then we would expect something like an ABC structure within this wave 3 to the upside. Now, depending on how it really develops, we may see which of these patterns is more likely, because in the wave B we are likely going to get something like an ABC, and that would mean that in this push to the upside we would expect a 5-wave structure, something like this. And then in the case of the yellow interpretation, we would be more likely to get something like a larger ABC that could still find a diagonal structure in the wave A that could still have a 5-wave structure, but in that case we will not be able to tell, I suppose, which of these scenarios it really is. But if it manages afterwards to hold support in a correction in a wave B, we can continue to track higher in a follow-up wave C to the upside. Now, I cannot really consider that this wave 3 is complete already, because we haven't reached any of the, I don't believe we have gotten even close to the ideal targets of a larger wave 3, and so far within this push to the upside we haven't even gotten to the 100% extension, which is the ideal target for a wave C. Now, we can track in that case this possible interpretation in blue, where within the wave C I would now consider it slightly differently from what we previously were tracking. I would look at this as an initial wave 1 up, a wave 2 down, a third wave up here. I would now be looking for a correction in a wave 4, and then possibly a follow-up in a 5th wave to the upside. Now, this would be nice to get in terms of the structure, but it comes with a warning sign that if we manage to create a 5-wave structure, yeah, it could be the wave B in blue done. Whereas if we form only a 3-wave structure, it would be maybe more likely to have an A wave up. We would be looking for a wave B down, and then we would still track a C wave to the upside. But at this point, yeah, I am preferring this play out in the blue scenario. And if we actually check what level of extension we got in this wave 3 to the upside of the blue scenario, we are looking at just around the 138.2% extension of the wave 1, which is the ideal target. Now, what I would be watching out for isn't necessarily continuation within this wave 3. It does seem to be mostly done. Yeah, after such a deep retracement, I don't believe we should expect further continuation. I would consider this pattern probably something like an A, B, C to the upside. Could have different ways to count it, maybe an A, B, C from this point. Doesn't matter exactly. The main idea is we are now watching for a retracement in a wave 4 in the area, let's see, between the $20 level all the way down to the $14 level. Now, based on how large this correction in the wave 2 was, I don't necessarily expect to take too long to complete this wave 4, but there isn't necessarily a hard rule that would invalidate it if it takes, let's say, double the time that it took to complete this wave 2. I wouldn't be able to directly invalidate it if we manage to still push higher without, of course, invalidating or breaking the support zone area. And for now, I might even be able to consider that we have already completed this correction in a wave 4. Not necessarily the most likely interpretation. I would like probably an additional larger ABC would look better in terms of proportions with the wave 2, but the exact pattern within which this wave 4 unfolds doesn't matter too much. The idea is we have this area of support, and for now we are tracking direct continuation to the upside, at least, yeah, from this area. And for now, these are the levels. This is the trade setup. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe and let me know what else you want me to cover, and I'll do my best to do that in the days and weeks ahead. And until then, I hope you have a nice day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.